listeners, and welcome new listeners to the Reese on the Regular podcast. Today, I'm joined with my second guest, Tori.
Hi guys, I'm Tori. I'm a student at Quinnipiac University studying health science and nutrition, and I'm a personal trainer at F45 in Waltham.
Pretty cool girl. Me and Tori know each other from high school. Obviously, she's going to Quinnipiac now. I'm at UMass Amherst. Of course, we stayed close because Tori's awesome. But I wanted to bring her on here today because we have a lot in common when it comes to fitness and dance. We both grew up as dancers. So I just thought it'd be good to talk about how to find your balance when it comes to those things. That's very difficult for a lot of people to fit in exercise around their busy schedule and also enjoy it at the same time. I thought, what better person to bring than Tori herself. So I want to start just talking about going back to like where it all started for you when it comes to like starting dance and also fitness.
Yeah, so I started dancing when I was 3, like most people start out when you're younger. And I started competition around the age of 8. It was full swing, 6 days a week, 4 hours a day. I would be there until 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock sometimes at night. Plus with school full time, it was very an active schedule, and people think it's not a sport, which it's considered an art, which I love actually. The athleticism of it is what I really loved.
Right.
I loved dancing, I loved creating art with my body, but I loved the athleticism part of it, and that's what really got me into exercise and bringing fitness as a big part of my life.
Yeah. For me, I started around like 3 also.
Yeah.
I started just doing like ballet and jazz, I think. I didn't start competing until 8th grade or my freshman year because the studio I started at didn't do competitions, and then they just started it. Then I actually switched studios and they always competed, so I was just like in full swing at that point. Even still, I feel like you were always going to competitions like every single week. I don't even know. I feel like you had a really competitive
So I
studio.
actually started out at a different dance studio, and I left because I wanted to compete so bad. One of my friends went to Lynn and Jen, so I went there. And I loved it. They were amazing, and I just wanted to be that good. I was never someone who was naturally good, never had natural flexibility, never had natural technique. I wanted it so bad. They watched you for a year, and you don't have to try out. They watch you for a full year to see if you can be on the competition team. Tryouts, you know how it is. Like,
yeah, for us it was tryouts. We had to try out to be on the dance team.
You never know how you're going to do that day or how you're feeling that day. So they watched me for a year, and then they invite you onto
That's
the
so
team.
smart.
Yeah. I joined the team, and they're working on your technique every day. They want you ready for competition. We went to like 4 competitions a year, and then we would have shows. I think it was a lot of people who compete every other weekend. I'm like, how do you do it?
Oh, yeah. I watch Abby Lee,
Oh
Dance
my
Moms. I'm
goodness.
like, how do these girls do it?
These poor girls.
Definitely was like more low-key at my studio, which I really liked because obviously when competition and like recital did roll around, it was just such a high-stress time. What was your favorite style of dance, and what did you compete with the most?
I always did contemporary or lyrical solos, but my favorite style was definitely hip-hop. Well, at first I loved hip-hop, and then I really got into contemporary. Everyone always used to say like my facials were the big part because I just loved like getting into it.
Right.
I've always loved music, and like if I didn't connect with the song, then it wasn't it for me.
Yeah.
So I think definitely contemporary.
Mine was always hip hop. I mean, when I was younger, it was definitely more contemporary because I wasn't that good at hip hop. And then I went to a really great studio for hip hop and just got so much more advanced with it. And even still, obviously, I don't dance as much anymore. Whenever I do have the chance to go to a dance class, it's always, hip hop is my first choice.
Especially if you're going to a walk-in class like that, the high energy of hip-hop is the
Yeah,
best thing.
it's just so fun. It doesn't even matter if you're going to like a class with like people that you don't even know. It's just guaranteed to be a good time.
Yeah, dancers community. It doesn't matter if you know anyone or not. Everyone's going to support each other, which is the best part.
We actually went to a dance class together. When was that? Last summer?
It was last time. We need to do that again.
We need to do it again because it was so much fun.
We were dripping sweat after.
We were all super nervous to go for some reason.
my
It was
gosh.
me, Tori, and our friend Rose. It was just so much fun. Like, even though it was
So
like
fun.
really hard, it was a great time.
It was
That's
hard.
why I
And,
love
like,
hip hop.
we thought we were done. I was like, I know the dance. Like, I'm ready for this video. And then she added another 30
She's like,
seconds on.
okay, we're halfway through. I'm like,
And I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
what? It's just a really fun style of dance. Are you still dancing at all?
Not at school. I don't dance at school. I was kind of ready to take a step back from it, especially because I've never been someone who put my main focus on school, which I never really needed to. But at school, it's really, really rigorous. The work is really hard, and I want to focus on that because the transition was so hard.
Right.
I don't know how it was for you, but for me, I was struggling with that transition. I focused on school, and I think it was hard for me to disconnect from my old studio and make it just about dance and be like, I'm going to take classes at school.
Right.
Because I'm like, if it's not at Lynn & Jen's, I don't want to be there, which is so bad.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. Like, I looked around, took a few of the open classes that UMass Amherst offered, and it was just not the same.
It's not.
I just like slowly eased out of it. I really miss it. Like,
Yeah.
any chance that I get that I come home, I'm like at my old studio
Yeah,
or
I'm
like
at
going
my
to
old
classes
studio.
like with familiar people. I've definitely, eased out of it heading into college.
Definitely, yeah. I'll take them at my studio if we do like combo days. One of my friends is a really, really good choreographer, and she teaches the kids there now, and I've been helping her out with the solos. I'm like, just so I can dance like on the sidelines, like I'll help you out.
Right. And did they do like an alumni dance for you guys?
No, we do it every like milestone in the years. So my freshman year of high school, we did an alumni closing dance, and there was like 100 of us on stage. It was awesome.
That's so cool.
And I heard a rumor that they're doing it again for 25 years. So
that's exciting. Yeah, at my studio, they do it every year. Sadly, since I'm in Connecticut for the summer, it just wasn't going to work out with like going to the practices and learning the dance. I wish I could be in it.
I know.
Actually just drove 3 hours home to be here. So it's just tough getting here. They do an alumni dance every year, and it's so fun. Just getting to come back to your home.
I know.
Now where are you at? You're doing more fitness stuff as opposed to dance.
So I got my personal training certification in September. You get your certification, but you need a year of experience to work anywhere, which obviously makes sense because you can pass a test and you don't know how to work with clients. You don't know the basics. I immediately started working at my school. I worked as a small group personal trainer, and I also did group classes, which I ended up loving way more than personal training, especially because the small group was new for us. So I would only get 1 to 2 people in my classes, so it was really more personal training. I just love the high energy of the group training. I love programming my own classes and making it fun for people, and also modifying it for people who aren't ready to be in the gym and are nervous about it. So that was the best part about the small group, is we would border off our little area of the gym, and whoever was comfortable could come. So that's what I loved. I was like, I want to do this full time. I wanted to do group training over everything. So I heard back from some places about personal training, but when I heard back from F45, I was like, oh my God, this is my dream. Like,
that's awesome.
I love the high energy. I love the community that we're building. I love being there. I love functional training too, because it's real life. Functional training like prepares you to deal with injuries, prevents them. It helps you in sports. It helps wherever you're at. We have people who are super athletic athletes to older people who are just trying to stay in shape and try to be healthy. And we'll modify it or make it harder for whoever needs that.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about that. I love group training, and I think that's where I'm going to stay.
That's awesome. That's so cool that like you figured that out so early on. I'm still like, what do I want to do after school? I envy that a lot. Was it like difficult to get your certification and also to start doing classes at school? Like, how did that work?
So I had to do 10 weeks of online school. It would be like 2 quizzes a week, and then you take your final exam. The best part about doing it online, and the worst part, is that you can take it at your own pace. And so I was taking it like when I would get home from school at night, and I feel like I was not as focused on it because I would get home from classes or working, and I'd be so exhausted. I feel like I could have put more time and attention in it. It taught me a lot, but it's a lot of stuff that you learn from experience. We would have cueing seminars at Quinnipiac. We would talk to each other, who are all personal trainers or fitness instructors, and learn from each other. And I think that's where I got most of my knowledge, was learning from professors, learning from my bosses, and learning from other people who are doing it too. But definitely getting my certification, it was a lot of online textbooks and like taking notes and remembering your notes, but you're just kind of remembering to pass the test.
Right.
So I think it's really all in the experience and how you learn from clients, you learn from the people around you.
Yeah. At the gym that you're working at now, F45, is that like an open gym too, or do they just do training and classes and things like that?
Yeah, so it's just classes, and it's worldwide. There's so many locations. So worldwide, we're all doing the same workouts, and like there's different phases. It's never the same exercises, but it's always the same timing and like the same workout. And so it's not open to the public. You have to come to the classes. We do that because we want to build a community, and it does work. Like I take class every day, and I see my members, and I work out with them at the same time, and then I go coach later. So it's definitely building a community. We do stuff outside of the gym. We're there.
That's
like
so fun.
Yeah, it's community training. We're all there to help each other.
And is it like all ages?
All ages, starting at 16.
Yeah.
And up. We just build a community, and we're there for each other, and the classes are so high energy that you don't really want to go alone. Like you want to go every day and see those people and tell them about your day.
I feel like that's something a lot of people struggle with when it comes to whether it be dance or sports or any sort of exercise, is because it can get difficult at times, especially getting motivated to go to the gym. People start to turn it into something negative. How do you go about keeping it a positive for yourself?
It's really hard to stay motivated, obviously. So coming in and having that group and seeing like, oh, I want to go see so-and-so today. You know what I mean? Like, I've done a lot of different exercises. I've done a lot of different classes. I like to switch it up every now and then to stay motivated, because I went from lifting weights 6 days a week. You walk on a treadmill for 30 minutes. It gets boring and you get tired and you're like, I don't want to do this every day. Sometimes I'll switch it up. I'll go take a class. I'll go at school. I'll take a spin class. I don't have to do the same thing every day to see results, as long as you're moving your body, which you're the queen of. Like, as long as you're moving your body, like go on a walk, go to a class, try something new. I just want to stay active. I'm at a point where I've seen results and I've gotten the strength part down. So as long as I keep myself going, for me, that's all that matters. So these people, I just try to remind them, like, the hardest part is getting there. That's what I like to tell people.
It is.
That's the hardest part. Once you're there, you're having a great time. It goes by like that.
I run into that problem a lot now, working more full time over the summer, trying to fit in working out and moving my body, because that's something that's so important for me, is staying active. For me, it's less results. Kind of like you said, just more of like feeling good. Even if I can just get a walk in, I feel great. And I've just tried to keep it fun for myself, because after like working a 7-8 hour day, it's like I want it to be a fun thing. So I've just found workouts that I enjoy doing, try and switch it up with like going on a walk or just anything that like allows me to stay active, which I think is the best advice that someone can give, is just find the routines and workouts that you actually enjoy doing.
Finding a routine is definitely one big thing for me, like writing it down. If you write stuff down and you say work out at this time, you'll do it.
Yeah.
If you plan it out, you'll do it. So that's my one thing too that keeps me going, is if I write down my day and say I'm going to go to the gym at this time rather than go lay down, I feel way better when I go to sleep at night.
Yeah, it's just like a fun thing to do, like the night before, just that morning, like make your to-do list, your schedule. I personally am just like on Google Calendar at all times. Everything's color coded. Gym spots are in there in pink because it's like my favorite color. I got to make it fun. And when you accomplish that day and you actually get all that stuff done, even though you're tired, like it's a better feeling than being lazy and feeling tired. Yeah. It's just so rewarding. That's why it's like if you ever go on a vacation or something like that, like it's that funk that it's really hard to get back into working out and staying active. So it's just important that you don't overdo it, but you make it more of like a routine for yourself. How do you avoid burnout when you're doing this like super full time for yourself?
I noticed, especially when I was at school teaching, I wouldn't teach till 7:30, 8:30 at night. I would be exhausted from a day of work or classes and school and doing schoolwork. Once you get there and you're moving your body, you feel so much more energized after. Like the endorphins are released. You're seeing people that you want to see every week. You feel so much better, especially doing something that I love.
Right.
I come right out of it. I'm suddenly energized. I suddenly want to conquer the world. Now that I'm doing it full time, I'm there almost every day. If I'm not there working, I'm working out. Sometimes 2 times a day. I'll go in the morning workout. I'll go back coach. I noticed that burnout is really, really common, and it can happen to the best of us. Doing something that you love, you never get burnt out. You find your place and you're so happy to be there, and you dig down deep and you bring that energy out even on the days that you don't want to, which I found sometimes I really don't want to, and like go get in people's face and like, come on, you can do it. Because sometimes I feel like I can't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that's like the motivation you need to hear, is like yourself saying it too.
Sometimes you just need to push yourself. Burnout also, like sleep. It's so important. Like
sleep, hydration, like it's not just a thing people say.
Like I try to go to bed so early. I've definitely my social life is lacking recently.
Me too, especially being like all by myself. I feel like a little grandma. I go to bed so early, but honestly, like I've never felt better. I just feel so productive.
I feel so productive. Like I'll go to bed. I'll stay up to like 11, 12.
Yeah.
Like I go to bed. I feel good when I wake up. Like eating nutritious food, but not restricting yourself. Energy drinks definitely help avoid burnout. Lots of water, like just fueling your body. It helps so much, because on days where like I go out and spend too much time out or like stay out too late, I don't feel good the next day. Yeah. And like sometimes that's the price you'll pay for a good time, but every day is too much for me.
Exactly. Like, it's important to have fun, obviously, but like every day is too much sometimes. I know you said it was kind of a difficult transition into college, probably just overall, but looking at it from like a fitness exercise standpoint, what were the biggest challenges? Sleep schedule at college and like the diet and everything that is hard for all college kids.
Yeah, for me, definitely. I was in such a great routine, like with dance and with school and with exercising. I was in my routine and I was set and I was in the best shape of my life, felt the strongest I've ever felt before I went to school. And I got there and I had no idea what to do. My schedule was gone that I've had for like 10 plus years.
Yeah, because being a dancer, it's like you live at dance. Like that is your second home. I was there like every single day. And going from that to just like being on a campus and like not going to dance after school every day is just so crazy.
And I was like, oh my God, free time. Like,
what do I do, right?
I spent the first 3 days of college in my bed. My roommate thought I was insane. I could not get out of bed. It definitely didn't happen till like the end of first semester. I made a routine for myself with my class schedule. Find a gym partner, my best recommendation, because if you go with each other, like you're gonna go every day, even if you're so tired from classes, like college is so hard. You get really burnt out. So I noticed like I set a routine for myself and it was different. Tried to get there like twice a day. I would take the spin classes, which I didn't love spin, but at school I loved it because I was going and seeing people. It was something to do because there's a lot of free time and I just like found myself laying in bed all the time. And there's so much else you can do, like just go sit in the dining hall, like get a smoothie. Like, definitely that transition was so hard, but again, writing everything down helped me so much and just like finding stuff to do, finding people to do it with.
College was definitely when I personally got into fitness more because it was like I didn't have dance anymore. And dance used to be like my everyday cardio and movement. And I didn't really have much time to go to the gym like I occasionally would. But then like at college, I was like, all right, I got to find something else with all that free time. You know, I just started going to the gym. I just came to love it so much.
And just like the going out aspect is so tiring. And I think for me at first, I was doing it too much.
Yeah.
And I was not used to that. Steering away from all the healthy aspects that I loved. I wasn't doing it to look a certain way. Like I loved eating healthy. I loved working out. And I found that that was diminished by all like going out and partying. You can do both. Like I realized that you can do both. And if you don't feel like going, you don't have to go out.
That was something that I learned this year, actually. I've always had like crazy FOMO. I'm the type of person that needs to do everything and more. That, you know, hence why I'm here today because I need to be doing a podcast and working full time. And like, I just need to overload my plate, which is my issue. So my first year of college, I always had FOMO. I needed to be at every single possible plan, be out all night, all hours of the night. That just really burnt me out. My second year after I had like did everything 100 times over, it finally clicked for me that like it's okay to have some downtime. And I think I just like matured more as well. So I like finally, you know, would spend some Friday nights in just like self-care and like really just listening to my body, knowing that it's okay to not do everything at all times, because I definitely got a little carried away my first year.
I did
obviously
too.
Everything's new and it's like you want to have fun. Also try and fit in like exercising and homework and everything. It's just important to really balance everything out. So obviously I have my Instagram page where, you know, this all kind of started, and you also have an Instagram page now where you're kind of branching out your love for fitness. Is that more of just like a for fun thing? You know, what's your goal with that account?
So in the beginning, I made that account. It was a private account. I just kind of wanted it for me. Like I didn't post a lot on my main account about fitness, and it was a daily part of my life. I did that every single day. And I wanted to like keep myself accountable almost. Like I just love food. Like I was really into healthy recipes, but also like maintaining that lifestyle is really what I wanted to project onto that account, was that it's like about balance. I found that I really didn't like recording myself working out. So I had a very like lacking on that Instagram.
Right. That is tough. I do it sometimes, but like it is really tough. You know, people are looking at you in the gym and they're like, what is she doing?
Yeah. And like I really wanted to share my workouts too, because that's my favorite thing is programming workouts. And then I would be in my group classes teaching and I'm like, oh, I want to record them, but I'm using my phone for the timer or I'm using my phone for the music. And I'm like, I don't want to mess up the flow here. And I don't want it all to be about social media.
Right.
And I don't want to make people uncomfortable. Like that's their safe space to work out. And I'm just there to help them. I'm not there to show them to the world. So I don't post on it a lot, but I really want to. I want to share my workouts with people, and I've started recording a little bit.
Yeah.
And especially at F45, like we record, but we don't make it the main priority, obviously. But we like to show that we're having fun, show how hard people are working. Like when we add progressions, like the other day I was standing on a Bosu ball while doing battle ropes, and I was like, I need to record this.
That was crazy. I was like, this girl is crazy.
The workouts are crazy, and they're so fun.
I think it's smart that you guys are posting stuff because it does make it look like so much fun. Like it makes me want to go and take a class. I definitely have to. It's on the bucket list. I can also agree that like I use my Instagram as a way to just motivate myself as well. I post the stuff for everyone else to motivate them, but it also holds me accountable. I'm like, all right, what am I going to put on there today? Like, let's do something fun and like, let's make a good meal.
I definitely want to get better at it because I want to bring in clientele in other ways. I want to grow from my Instagram too.
And what is the name of your Instagram? Tori Time?
Tori Time _fit.
Go follow her, guys. What are you doing if you don't? No, but I love it.
I'm going to start posting more.
She's gonna after today. We've inspired her. For mine, it's kind of just like everything. I like that you're really focusing it on what you love. And
I noticed that I post a lot more about food, but I'm gonna get better.
I try so hard not to post too much food, but it's just like so hard not to always post my food.
Like I love
to make pretty meals and just let me know if you guys get annoyed with too many food posts because there's a lot in my camera roll that I still don't even post. I love it. It's so much fun. And that's like a really important part about eating healthy and also working out. Like we talked about, finding workouts that you like is also just like finding fun meals that you like and that you enjoy and making it a fun thing versus like something you have to do. Just makes it easier to find a balance with being healthy, is just making it fun. Obviously, as a dancer, we kind of talked about the challenges of like not having the right technique, not being perfect. That's a really tough thing that a lot of dancers struggle with. And I can totally agree. I had terrible technique as a dancer. Part of the reason why I loved hip hop so much, because you could just do whatever you wanted. Aside from as a dancer and facing those challenges, did you have any challenges like now being, you know, a personal trainer, coach, anything like that come up?
Sometimes I struggle like thinking of things to say to people. Like obviously I know what to fix. If your form is off, I'm gonna come fix you. I'm gonna give you progressions. Sometimes I can't think of progressions to give people. I'm like, wow, they're really strong. They're killing it. Well, how can I make this harder? And that's something I try to think about. But when you're in the moment and there's a high intensity class going on, I'm like, what can I give them?
Yeah.
And so that's what I've been really trying to focus on recently. Like the other day we had some sort of plank work and I was like, oh, I'm going to put a weight on their back. Like, trying to think of things quickly and challenge people in that high speed 45 minutes is something I'm working on.
I totally get that. That's really just like the challenges overall of being like a coach or a leader. Because right now, like I'm coaching, you know, a lot of students who are working with me with my job this summer. Just trying to think of quick advice for them can be really hard. So that's like just a really good skill to have. And that's going to really just build up your confidence and communication overall, which I think is great.
Yeah, I think definitely leadership ability. Like I think that's something that I'm lacking. When I go and teach a class by myself, I'm like, I'm here, I'm ready, and I have high energy for them. Sometimes it's like, you don't always want to be the leader. You just want to be in the back of the room and just be quiet. And you have to pull that out of yourself sometimes and be like, here for these people. Give them motivation to keep going. And I think sometimes it's hard to just be that person for people every single day.
It is. And it's a hard balance between being hard on them versus being like not hard on them and also just being like an effective leader overall. So I feel like I totally understand that challenge. In fitness for me, like I don't really face any challenges like that since I'm not a coach in fitness, but I totally get that.
Yeah, I also used to be an assistant dance teacher, and that's also what stemmed my love for coaching was that I loved seeing people get it and like be excited, and that's why I loved it so much. But at the same time, sometimes I just didn't want to coach someone. I didn't always want to be the teacher. I wanted to be the student. The hard part sometimes is just pulling it out of yourself to sometimes be strict with the dancers or sometimes be the fun teacher. So sometimes it's hard because you don't want to be the bad guy or you don't want to be correcting people all the time.
Exactly.
But you're making them better in a sense. And that's what I try to remind myself is
they need it.
Yeah. You're making people better. And at the end of the day, they're going to thank you for it.
And you're going to feel like so rewarded.
Yeah.
Like when you see them succeed and it's work that you put in to help them, it's just so rewarding.
It's definitely, people aren't lying when they say teaching is a fulfilling job or coaching. It's such a fulfilling job. And even if I'm not making the most money or I'm spending the rest of my life teaching yoga or coaching fitness, like it's so fulfilling seeing people reach their goals or be on stage dancing. It's so fulfilling when you watch them, and it gives you a purpose.
The title of this episode is Finding Your Balance. Do you ever feel so unbalanced in life that you've like considered quitting, whether that be dance or just going to the gym or coaching?
You get really burnt out like we were talking about, and sometimes you're just never going to get it. I would have turns in my solo and I would never get it, and I would go on stage and I would fall out of them, and I'm like, I want to quit. Like, you work so hard all these hours for 2 minutes on stage.
That's the crazy thing about dance.
If it doesn't go perfectly in those 2 minutes, you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to cry. For me, I'm one of those people that I can brush it off. Like, I can brush it off and just say, oh, well, I'll do better next time. But there's several times where it gets to you, and you don't want to tell anyone. You don't want to make other people nervous to go on stage. But there's so many times that I've wanted to just throw in the towel. And same with fitness, especially like those first 2 weeks of college when I was like, why am I doing this? Why do I go to the gym every day? I don't have to. No one's making me. And it's like, because I love it. So you just have to remind yourself that you love it. Because if not, I'll quit. But I love it so much. So I just have to remind myself that I love it.
Is there anyone in particular that's helped you get out of that funk of wanting to quit?
Yes. One of my dance teachers, Miss Jen Corbett, if she's watching this, love her. But she was one of those people that would motivate me so much. Like, I liked being yelled at. She wasn't like a huge yeller, but I like being yelled at. I like being pushed. And having someone there, like, when we would be in warm-up and we would be doing the fitness part of it, and I'd be in a plank and she's screaming at me, you can do anything for 30 seconds. I truly believe every time I'm in a plank now that I can do anything for 30 seconds. So I just always wanted to be like her. I wanted to be a teacher like her. Even if I wasn't teaching dance, I wanted to coach the way that she coached and still be strict, but motivate people and make them the best that they can be, because she was not going to let us go on stage anything less than perfect, and I like that. Her motivation for me was really what kept me going, and her belief in her students. She believed in me that I could be a fitness coach. Now I'm here. Even though I wasn't going into dance, she knew that whatever I did with fitness that I could accomplish, and I'm feeling like I'm getting there. So
that's awesome. So Tori, what is the best advice you can give to help others find balance in their life?
So for me, like I've said, writing stuff down definitely helps. Making a schedule, making a plan, that's what helps me find balance. Doing stuff for you, that'll make you happy. Focusing on the present, which we said we both struggle with. Something that I'm really working on is that I don't need to keep thinking about tomorrow or the next thing. Just being present and doing what I love. There's always tomorrow.
There is always tomorrow.
Start over tomorrow. If it's not as good, don't quit. So just reminding yourself that you can always start over is what helps me stay motivated. There's always a goal to achieve. That's what helps me find balance and still stay motivated. You can always get better. You can always get stronger. That's what helps me, at least.
Something I'm also working on, just staying in the present. That is something I really struggle with. I'm always stressing about the future. Whenever I do find that I'm staying in the present, I feel so balanced. When I am thinking about tomorrow and all the things on my plate and I'm not writing them down is when I start to feel super unbalanced and overwhelmed. I think that's awesome advice that you gave, is just keep yourself organized and stay present. So any last thoughts from you? Anything else you want to share with the podcast?
I'm a big fan of Reese on the regular. Just so everyone knows.
I'm a bigger fan of Tori, guys. That's why she's here.
I'm trying to strive to be more like her and post like her.
Oh, stop. Honestly, I think it's great to look up to people. I look up to you as well. Staying so motivated with fitness and really finding a passion so early on. I think that's so awesome.
It's good to be inspired by your friends. Definitely that too.
For
like
sure.
I've never felt I ever had to compete with my friends. You doing what you're doing and me doing what I'm doing, like we're helping each other, and like you inspire me with your Instagram, and I think that's so important. Like,
surround yourself with people who inspire you, and that also is going to help you stay balanced, eliminating the negative, the toxic.
My dad always used to say, surround yourself with good people and good things will come to you. So
I love that.
I think that that's what's happened with the people that I surround myself with.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tori, for coming on. This was so much fun.
Me.
We'll definitely have Tori back again. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
See you.
Bye.